Yes! Right. I told you it's time. Where you at, bro? Oh. Oh. Goodness gracious. Good morning, everybody. There we go. Oh. What up, bro? Knuckles, bro. Goodness gracious. Zach Bach, my best friend, 25 plus years. You don't need to silence that one. He's at eXp now. He's here. You're going to do that? Just go to silence that one? Okay, so guys, Zach Bach at eXp. Goodness gracious. This guy, my best friend, 25 plus years, is now with eXp. I didn't realize that he came to my house this morning, but he did come to my house this morning. And so I'm ready to start the show. And about 3 minutes ago, the guy, all of a sudden, he's right here. He's right here in my living room. Brother, welcome to eXp. Thank you. I've been trying for a long time. Everybody's been giving me tips about how to get Zach over to eXp. There have been national masterminds about how to get Zach over to eXp. And finally, my best friend here. We are together again at last. Life is good. It's about to get a lot better. So, good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Are you feeling weird not going into the office?
Well, I haven't really been there much for the last 6 months anyway, so.
Okay, fair enough. So life is a little bit different now. And Zach just told me, he said, hey, I haven't been to the office very much for the last 6 months. And I think that is the way that a lot of us top producers are feeling. And a lot of people are saying, are we still echoing, guys?
Let me put my phone on.
So we're going to have Zach go ahead and run his phone upstairs. Like I said, we had no idea that Zach was filming today. We had scheduled a show, and all of a sudden, here he is at my house knocking on the front door. Hey, Chief, you're still my best friend as well. I have a whole bunch of best friends. Congratulations from Michelle, Zach.
Thanks, Michelle.
My sons, my mom is very happy. Your mom is very happy. Both of our moms are tuned in. My sister's happy. And, of course, Steve, who is going to be with us for Veterans Day next week, is tuned in. He is active duty Navy. Amy Jarman is happy. Everyone is happy. What is happening? We saw Miss Cookie out in Vegas. Good morning, Miss Cookie. Good morning, everybody. Holy Moses. You're here. And I think that the echo is officially gone.
It should be.
So
is the echo good? So
I had all these questions planned for you. I normally don't get nervous before shows, but now I'm officially nervous. We're all happy. Everyone's happy. Plugging Zach into that mastermind. Everyone, like Mike Bjorkman said, and good morning, David Wigg. Mike Bjorkman says, David Golden told me, he goes, you got your Jesse Zagorski. You got your best friend. So everyone was very happy. And of course, we're getting ready to go do a little bit of a speaking tour, a little bit of a thing here locally. Echo is gone, and here we are. So why now?
Well, it's this has been a while coming on my mind, and some life stuff has really driven it. It's just a matter of I was always having to be the motivator for the last year or so. I've been having to be a motivator.
Yes.
And it's tough when you're having to be the person that's always trying to motivate everybody else, and without anybody really wanting to motivate you.
Yes.
So
what you appreciates, and you find a lot with energy that when you're investing it in something, and you're consistently having to be that person that is getting everybody motivated and getting everybody excited, that it's a lot easier to just step back and be motivated around other motivated people.
Mm-hmm. You know, I for those that don't know, I sold cars for a number of years.
I was hoping you were going to talk about
and
this.
I'll call him a mentor. His name is John Greenlee. You know, we met with John. We did a podcast with John, and John's got a great story of, you know, kind of a humble beginnings to riches, to where he owned Ferraris and a giant house in Sacramento, lost absolutely everything, went back to, you know, essentially working in a call center, and now he's doing very well for himself again. And, you know, John was my sales manager when I sold cars, and he was always very motivating. It was always, you know, the sales meetings on Friday mornings were so motivating, and it got people working, it got people out the door. And I think that real estate offices as a whole don't understand how to motivate salespeople. And I think that a lot of realtors forget the fact that you can call yourself a matchmaker, you can call yourself a home finder all you want. Push comes to shove, you're a salesperson. Everybody on earth is a salesperson.
Yep.
And you have to have motivated individuals around other motivated individuals to push each other. So that was one of my biggest things.
It is, you know, I'm just going to keep the Zach is it an eXp thing going for a while because I'm just so excited about it. But it's hard to keep people motivated that might just need a day job, might just need to fold it in and say, hey, sales is not for me. And I would rather pal around with eagles. And it's no offense, but eagles pal around with eagles. Eagles do not pal around with turkeys. But we have that part in us that we still want to help those people that are making that transition. We still want to help those people that are breaking through. But those people are few and far between, and it can become exhausting. So you talked about love right there. Good morning, Mom.
Good morning, Mommy.
Good morning. So so cool. My best friend joined as well. There's a lot of best friends joining eXp. There's a lot of people that are now having the opportunity to work together on a national level. And the mastermind, the network is awesome. I'm loving it. But for a second, let's talk about sales, brother. Because so many people are afraid to do it. They're afraid to, and really what we're going to do is, I'm going to say afraid of sales, but we're just going to put a lot of people on blast. You, in your life, are a salesperson. You are constantly either being sold something or you are selling something. It is whether or not you're the person that is influencing or being influenced or where you fall in on the totem pole. And so you have to acknowledge that everything in life is sales. This guy right here has taught me so much about sales. He comes from a car sales background. Tell me a little bit about going into selling cars, because a lot of people look down on car salesmen. A lot of people look down on real estate agents, but you've had 6-figure years in both.
You know what cracks me up is real estate agents that look down on car salesmen. It cracks me up because when you look at national statistics, we're just as not trusted as car salesmen. You have these realtors that put themselves up on a pedestal saying, well, you know, at least I'm not a used car salesman. Well, the public views you as the same.
Yep,
you know, they view
right.
realtors as the same. And it's, you know, it's funny, John Greenlee, actually, when I went to apply in the car business, John tried to hire me as a lot porter.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hire me as a salesperson. And then that year I was the top salesperson in the dealership.
Wow.
But it was, you know, I still give John grief for that today. But, you know.
Why? Why didn't he want to hire you as a salesperson?
Because he just thought I was some young punk. And, you know, at that point I was 20 years old. And
yeah.
I probably wouldn't have hired me. But, you know, it's the thing is say, like David said, everybody's a salesperson. Whether you're a child selling your parents on why you need another, you know, another toy car, whether you're a husband selling your wife on why you really need to buy NFL Sunday ticket, you know, whatever it is, everybody's a salesperson. It's that simple. And you can choose to accept that fact. I did an entire speech at Toastmasters about this. You can choose to be a salesperson. You can choose not to be a salesperson. But everybody's a salesperson. Even if you're a scientist selling your ideas to investors, you know, it's everybody's sales.
And you got, we were both very young when we got into sales, and I think that there's a lot of value in that. Young salesperson. And normally I don't have somebody looking over my shoulder, and it's very different. But we started basically our first business when we were still in middle school, going around shoveling horse poop or you know, shoveling snow. And you find a need, you fill a need, and so you work. And we started door knocking while we were still in middle school. And were we always well received?
No. I mean, I had a solar salesperson come to my door the other day. And every solar salesperson that comes to my door, as long as they're not creepy, I look at them and I go, why are you selling solar? Here's my business card. Talk to me about getting into real estate, because those solar salespeople will go out for 6 hours a day.
That's right.
Door knocking houses, getting rejected, and they do it every single day.
And they all do the objection overcoming.
Yep.
Like, I'll tell them, no, I'm not interested. This is why. And they're like, no. I'm like, listen, I don't want it. Okay. But like, if these young people, if they realized their talent and just how much money can be made in real estate, I mean, I think that the real estate is an algorithm. It's just like anything else. And you can make a great deal of money in a algorithm like real estate, or you could go with a low risk, low reward career where you are guaranteed safety, and then you might ultimately experience a lot of the same hangups. But what are you ultimately risking?
Everything.
That's right.
There's this quote that a salary is what a company pays you to forget about your dreams.
Woo, brother!
And it's that's really what it comes down to. Is whether it's an hourly wage or salary, it's the same thing. An hourly wage is what they pay you to have a little less safety and security and a little bit more control, because you can go, all right, I'm going to put in some overtime.
Yes.
But
yes, a salary is something that a company pays you to forget about your dreams. When a company is offering you a salary, they're saying, this is what your time is worth to me, period. This is what you are worth hourly. This is what your year is worth. And here are here is everything that you have to operate within. As an entrepreneur, like Tim Ferriss, 4-hour work week, like this guy here, or like me, you have the ability to determine your value, which is very scary for some people, but very freeing for other people who walked around thinking, wait, the best that I can hope for is a promotion in 6 months. I heard somebody say recently that employees work hard enough not to get fired, and employers pay enough not to lose employees. That's it. Is that the sort of life that you want to operate within? Do you want to be held back by that? Christian says, truth, salaries are boxes that are hard to break out of.
Yep.
So, and you were on salary with the United States government. Tell everybody a little bit about being a veteran and why did you join the Air Force?
It was when I was selling cars, and I was, quite honestly, I was bored with selling cars, and I started going back to school, and I was like, well, I found myself constantly telling myself I need to get a degree. But the problem was I would make an appointment to sell a car, and it would be at the same time as a class. Yeah. And I'd go, well, money? Am I going to go to class, or am I going to go sell that car and make a commission? Yep. And my grades started slipping because I was going for the commission every time. And so I realized, I was like, okay, well, being Boy Scouts and all that kind of stuff, I was like, I really want to.
It can be difficult when you're in your 20s making more than all of your professors to be motivated to stay in schoal. But so you decided to join the Air Force.
And I decided to join the Air Force because it was a chance for me to get out of California, go do something. Sure. And at the same time, I could have gone to school. I never really did. And and it was just an opportunity to serve my country, get out and go see stuff, see the world.
So and I think that that's really compelling. And I always tell people that I think that that service is worth more than a BFA, than a bachelor's of fine arts degree. I think that if you have served, especially during wartime, and I think that's one of those things that makes you great to a company and makes you great as an entrepreneur. And I'll tell you what, it really helps you rise above some fear.
Yeah. Well, and I had this discussion with somebody at Boy Scouts the other day, and he's got dual bachelors, he's got a master's, but he's not an engineer. And he got into it with an engineer, and he was a grunt in the Army, but now he works on helicopters, and he's a foreman, and he's this and that for the Marine Corps. And some engineer showed up, fresh out of school, from Stanford or whatever, trying to talk down to him, and he looked at him and goes, I have 10 years more schooling than you. I'm just not an engineer. And it's kind of the same thing. You look at these veterans, I know veterans that are working on billion-dollar aircraft without a degree. veterans that are working on nuclear missiles
Mm-hmm.
without a degree.
That's right.
And then they get out and people go, oh, you need to have a degree to get hired to build a car.
Or in life and death situations. You know, I was leading people in combat and being led in combat. And if you make mistakes in combat, people lose their lives. When you make a mistake in college, you just lose a couple of points or whatever. It's like, it's really it's not there. It's not this. Anyway, I think that we're doing our veterans a disservice by not considering 4 years of service to our country right alongside 4 years doing keg stands while your parents were paying for your degree. Fair enough? So what brought you out of the Air Force? Why did you leave the Air Force?
Well, the biggest reason was my son, and his mom and I were both active duty. And it's a long story, but essentially he started showing pretty bad separation anxiety with both of us being gone all the time. And I'm still in the reserves, and I have the coolest job in the Air Force. I have the coolest job in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And
is this going to be one of those things where you're not going to be willing to tell us what you did, or will you tell us what you did?
People can ask me in person.
He really did have a very cool job, and so I call him my salsa dancing spy. If that tells you anything, this guy's he's very, very interesting.
And so I was gone, she was gone, I was gone, she was gone, and Jackson, my son, started showing signs of separation anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's mental issues for life. You start doing that to a child that at 3-4 years old, he's going to have mental issues for life. And I can't, because I want to have a cool job, I can't be so selfish that I destroy my son's life. And so that's really what drove me out of the Air Force.
What's really interesting, and some people are saying 4 years of keg stands, and that's how we describe college. Ruthie says, "Welcome, Zach." So you leave the Air Force not because you hate the Air Force; you love the Air Force. You saw how it was affecting your family, and you saw the value of time.
Yep.
And so we joke around all the time, like I recruited him and blah blah. But I was asking him. I said, "Please, you will kill it in real estate. Get out of the Air Force and come make money." And but eventually he did. And what happened in your first year in real estate?
I did well.
He did well. He's not going to brag, so I am for him.
My tax guys, when I went and did my taxes, the words were, "How did you make that much money your first year in real estate?"
Yeah. How did you make that much money your first year in real estate? You cleared 6 figures in your first year in real estate.
I went to the office. And
you were the second agent on the team in commissions, but you were the first agent in sales in your first year on the homes team. That's no joke. That's not like you came into a room where, there's no other agent on a team that had made over $100,000 or even over $50,000. You walked into a room where there was multiple 6-figure agents, and you did as well as you did in your first year. And I think that a huge part of that, well, I'm not going to speculate, but I like to think that I know what part of it is. But what do you think contributed to your success in your first year?
I just worked.
Yeah,
it's that simple. I was having this discussion with somebody the other day about people that need to get out of real estate, and I went to the office. I went to the office and I made phone calls. And you don't have to go to the office to make phone calls, but that's where I work the best.
Yeah,
I show up at the office. I made phone calls every single day. I held open houses. I listened to what David told me to do. It was 6 open houses a month. It was making phone calls. It was following up. It was doing everything that we're told we're supposed to do, but most realtors feel like they don't need to do.
Yes, it's hard work, but it's all like you don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it. And so many people get into real estate and they're just like, or they come up with an idea and it's shot down around the water cooler before they even give it a shot. And I think when you come into a culture of winning, when you come into a culture where there are other people around you that are doing well, that like to see you succeed, it's a lot easier to succeed. And I think that, you came onto a team that really was doing very well as a unit. We were, it was Jennifer Moore, it was Jamie Burlisle, it was Davita Parker, it was Damian Simon, it was Rob Morrow. Our TC, Leslie Hill, was making over $100,000. It was one of those things where we were just surrounded by people that were doing well and that wanted to see other people do well because of the culture of winning. And I think that the culture, not of scarcity, but of winning, is one of the things that has made eXp what it is so far. So what is we ended up separating. We both went to KW, but before we went to KW, I don't know if you're going to be willing to tell everybody about this. Zach was pretty upset about me. Zach wanted eXp before I did. So Zach noticed eXp. I told him, No. But tell me what you saw about an eXp a year ago when you first talked to me after we left Signature. You mentioned eXp.
It was, the biggest thing for me was opportunity. I'm always looking at, you have to have multiple revenue streams.
Yes.
Every investing book, Be Rich book, you have to have multiple revenue streams. And there's a lot of different models out there, but if you can have a single company that can give you multiple revenue streams, that's a plus. That's a plus. Mm-hmm. Now, you never want to put all your eggs in one basket, because if the company folds, you're screwed.
Agreed.
But if you can get multiple revenue streams from one company, it just makes sense. As long as that company is forward thinking, forward thinking, and it's going to make sure that you're moving forward. And I brought it up, but I wasn't the decision maker at that time.
So what had happened was, when we still had about 20 agents on our team, 28 agents on our team, Zach mentioned eXp to me, and I didn't listen to him. And I tried to build my own brokerage. And then I tried to, because I was like, there's nothing that exists out there where people are collaborative. And I thought, I want to build something where all the Eagles go together, and we build it on media. And then we jumped around, and then we ended up going to KW. And Zach was still saying eXp. But then we went to KW. We really enjoyed it. But for me, KW was kind of a gateway into eXp. And then all of a sudden, all these people were at eXp, and all these people were showing me their rev share checks that went to eXp when he told me to go to eXp. And I was like, holy crap, we need to go to eXp. But there was a step between that. I decided to leave real estate. I was done. It wasn't like I left, and a lot of people talk about that. Oh, I didn't leave KW, or I left KW for eXp. I left KW for eXp. That wasn't me. I left KW, and I literally went into the office. And can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Because that was an emotional time for all of us. Me leaving real estate. I did. For about 8 months, I left real estate. I went into KW. I sat down with you. I sat down with the entire team. And with tears in my eyes, I told everyone I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't continue to work in this career. What was that like for you at that point? Because you felt pretty abandoned by me, and you were pretty frustrated. And then you were in a situation where, okay, I'm at KW. I'm in a career that I am in because, in part because of David. What did you do at that point?
Well, at that point, I had been working pretty hard to try to build our ISA program, to build the team back up, to save what we had. Mm-hmm. And when you did that, that's the point when I was like, this mother effer.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off, but at the same token, you can't let something like that get to you too much, and that's when I said, okay, well, I'm just going to continue to push, do what I'm doing, and hang out here and just wait. I started looking at starting my own team. I filed everything, but then I started realizing at the same token, it was a pain in the ass, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. I filed all the paperwork. I did this, that. It went up to the board. It went back to the board. I sent it to the board again. It came back to the board again. And at that point, I'm 4 months into this process of just trying to get a team name approved. Mm-hmm. Just trying to get a team name approved. Yep. 4 months in, all because of just something that wasn't clear or this or that, and it was just ridiculous.
There's so much frustrations that come along with running a team that you don't even realize. I owned a team name. I owned David Serp on the Homes team, and then I had a broker that didn't even release the DBA after I left, and then I was in a situation where I'd put over $40,000 into a team name that was not being released to me, and then I was like, okay, now I have to rebrand everything. Yep. And that's one of those frustrating things as team leads, is you're still working for a broker that has so much say and control over your business. And so you're in a situation where you're motivating people, you're trying to motivate people, and you get frustrated.
Yeah, and the biggest thing was I kept being asked, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? I went through, there's a couple of classes at KW that I sat down in the classes wanting to legitimately just do the class. And I kept being asked, hey, can you teach? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm all for helping people. I'm all for it. But when I look at people and I tell them, do this, 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 mm-hmm. do this, 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 mm-hmm. and I guarantee you're going to be successful from it. And then they say, okay, and then they just don't do it. And then they are coming to me looking at the leader standings going, how are you up there? I barely ever see you in the office. I go, it's because I do this, this, this. This is all you need to do.
Yeah.
And then they just don't do it.
Yes.
I don't understand it. a few minutes ago, you said it's hard work. Real estate's not hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work is 12 hours a day on the tarmac, turning wrenches on an aircraft, crawling inside fuel systems in an aircraft being covered in gum, 14 hours a day in a deployment. That's hard work. Hard work is a cop strapping up every single day, kissing his kids goodbye, and then going and working in Compton.
Yeah.
That's hard work.
We over-glorify this job.
It's not hard work? Going and knocking on some doors and making phone calls. That is not hard. Real estate is not hard work. It is just time management. It's boring work is what it is.
No one has ever tried to kill me doing real estate. No one has ever tried.
When you were showing me houses, that one dog tried.
Yeah, but no one, I have never had anyone shoot at me. No one has ever tried to kill me doing real estate. We over-glorify it and we overthink it. We overanalyze it. And it's as simple as, if you work 2 open houses a week and follow up with your leads effectively, you will do well in this business. And sure, there is that minority that just maybe they're not designed for it. But realistically, I have seen and networked with some of the most extraordinarily successful people, and they're of all different shapes and sizes. People that come here barely speaking any English at all and make over $100,000 in real estate because they're willing to work hard with the people that are willing to work with them. So it's very easy to burn out. It's very easy to get frustrated, and it's very easy to get disenchanted, disenfranchised, and say, I've had enough. I've had enough, which is what I did. I was like, I've got to figure me out. I've got to walk away. I ended up checking myself into a VA mental hospital for 5 days. I ended up spending time alone. Then I ended up going to the PATH program and really spending some time with me and sorting it out. And you were very patient with me. You loved me through it. You're my best friend for a reason. You let me be a weirdo when I need to be a weirdo. But the thing is the reason why we burn out is we get so extraordinarily exhausted trying to save the world. When sometimes we just need to worry about us. And that's one of the biggest things that you've reminded me of lately. You say, David, stop trying to save the world. Think about you. Stop trying to evolve everybody else. Think about you for a moment. Just for a moment, think about you. And then you can help everybody else.
You can't want opportunity for other people more than they want it themselves.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing is, I can look at somebody and say, you'd be great at this. You should go do it. And they're going to be great at it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's not hard to look at people and know the things that they're going to be good at, And it's like, I was having this discussion with another realtor the other day, and I was telling this realtor, I was like, stop wasting your time on internet leads. Quite frankly, it's not your forte. Following up with internet leads and calling them 10 billion times in the first month is not your forte. And this realtor's on a team, and I was saying, if your team, if you're paying them 40, 50% of your commissions, and they are not providing systems for you that are making your job easier, and they're saying just get on the phones and dial constantly, and they're not providing a dialer, and they're not providing these other systems that are out there to systematize and automate follow-up with these internet leads, then the team isn't providing you anything. All they're doing is making you pay $4,000 per lead, per escrow that you close.
I would go as far as to say that the team that we all know and love, the way that we look at real estate, is dead. The team is changing forever. And I'm going to tell you why here. So can you mind if we talk about teams for a second? Okay. I feel like just writing the team is dead. The team is dead. And then people can get as frustrated as they want to get about that. But maybe I shouldn't write the team is dead. The team is dead.
Evolving.
Teams are evolving. Okay, teams are evolving. Hopefully that's not going to be too long. Okay, teams are evolving because some teams are going to be okay offering the splits because they still offer the value. Yep. They offer the coaching, they offer the mentorship, they offer all of these different things. But the thing is, there are 3 things that you will never be able to sell ever, ever, ever again. One of those things is a team. You can't sell the team anymore because you can't sell leadership. Period. So the idea of developing a 7th level team to be able to pass it off and sell it in most markets will never be able to happen again. Why? There are enough teams that your agents can go to. 2, you will never be able to sell a brokerage the way that you used to be able to sell a brokerage. Why? Because your agents will just leave and go to another brokerage. You cannot hold them as hostages, and the laws are changing when it comes to real estate. And 3, you will never be able to sell a book of business and leave real estate. Why? Because most of your books of business aren't worth as much as Facebook advertising.
The only way that that can debunk what you just said is if brokers learn how to actually motivate salespeople and provide value, which most of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them don't. You know, you look at these brokers and you look at these companies, and it's not what can I do to help you.
Yes.
It's how many houses are you going to sell.
Sure.
Hey, I'll teach you how to go over the car forms. We'll teach you really how to read an RPA and fill out an RPA. But it's not okay after that fact. It's just these monthly sales meetings of, hey, good job, you sold some houses.
Mm-hmm.
It's not getting to know people on a personal level and figuring out, okay, what do I need to do to motivate you? Which every other sales industry does.
Yes.
Every other sales industry does, except for us for some reason, and it doesn't make sense to me.
We all think that we're above it.
Yeah.
We all think that we can build motivation boards and dream boards, and that all of a sudden we'll be successful. It's like step 1, manifestation. Step 2, success. There's something in between there that is being missed for most of real estate agents. So what are people doing? People are saying, okay, well, I'm no longer going to try to build a team that I will try to sell to somebody. I'm no longer going to try to build a brokerage that I will try to sell to somebody. I'm no longer going to try to build a book of business to try to sell to somebody. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build an organization. I'm going to bring a lot of quality agents into this organization. I'm going to mentor them and expose them to my network. And then you have agent ownership that is not franchised. No franchise fees. When you have a bunch of independent people that are working together, and now you have indefinite ownership in your downline. So neither one of us came here for the stock. I think that's safe to say, right?
I I look at it as another opportunity.
Sure.
It's not a huge motivator, but it's just another opportunity to put into your portfolio.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute, because let's see. You want to jump into opportunities at eXp?
Sure.
And go ahead and figure this out here for a moment. And for those of you tuning in at home right now or on your way, I'm talking to Zach Bach. He is an Air Force veteran, Eagle Scout, my best friend of 25 plus years, and he has recently left KW to come to eXp. Part of that is constantly getting burned out on trying to motivate everybody around you while being that person that can get up and go, while being that person that doesn't necessarily need it. The world is changing. Right? Mm-hmm. I just read this morning that Lowe's, actually, let's talk about this for a moment. Let's talk about tech in the world and how the world is changing before we make it a car sales commercial about eXp. Lowe's is closing stores.
Really?
Closing 51 locations. Lowe's. Which is wild. Not all of Lowe's, don't freak out and be like, oh my God, all of Lowe's is closing. But department stores, brick and mortars are phasing out in favor of distribution centers that can bring product directly to the house or can ship out. Mm-hmm. How's the world changing for you? I mean, what are you seeing? And why eXp, brother?
You know, I mean, it's interesting. I hadn't read about Lowe's.
51 locations.
You know. And it's, you know, for me, it's, you know, you talk about brick and mortar, and I think that's an area that you and I know that we disagree with each other on. Mm-hmm. Is, you know, but I look at something like, you know, these big shiny real estate offices. Okay,
yeah.
You know, they rent these super expensive spaces in high visibility areas, and I always wonder, you know, how many people walk in the door. You know, how many people truly just walk in the door? Now, if you have a real estate office downtown La Jolla, okay, sure, that's a spot to have a real estate office. High foot traffic areas, Huntington Beach, areas like that. Okay, yeah. I can see it having that location. But if your primary purpose of your office is for salespeople to come into and work, why are you renting high vis areas? Go to the freaking airport, rent a warehouse, put a bunch of cubicles in it, make it fancy, and put a basketball court and a freaking ping pong table.
That's what we were talking about. We were like, why would anyone want to have a big high visibility office on a street corner when people are doing business with the agent, not the location? And so I was like, why would somebody not just go in a place like French Valley, get a huge department, a huge area where it's like practically a shipping area, and make it a fun place to work where agents want to go with low overhead, low cost, share the cost, and then all of a sudden you have all these agents. Anyway, we'll make it.
If you make work fun, look at Google.
Yeah.
Look at Google. Google has nap rooms. They have massage rooms. They have all kinds of other stuff where it's an exciting, fun place to work. People enjoy going to work. They don't call it, the Google Workplace. They call it the Google Campus. Yeah. And all these various things that make it an exciting place for people to go.
And then people want to go.
Yes.
And then they want to be around other closers.
Exactly.
And they want to be in the bullpen. And they want to, go and eat with people. And it's a very interesting shift that is happening. And it's one of the things that I'm writing about in my new book is that people are shying away from the big department store experience and going towards the farmer's market. Mm-hmm. People are shying away from the big, huge stores and going towards the people that are running independently and running running businesses out of their house, the weekend businesses, the things like that, because we enjoy the camaraderie that comes with knowing the people that we work with.
Yep. Exactly. And so that's my biggest thing is, salespeople, I truly believe, need to be in a sales environment. There's always the exception to the rule, but salespeople as a whole, they need to be around other salespeople to truly produce and be successful.
Yeah.
And it's the thing with a lot of these big companies is, I look at some of the local real estate offices that I've seen where they've put locations, and it's asinine to me. These huge street corner locations. There's a real estate company that just built a building that's at, over in Temecula. And I look at this giant building on this street corner that everybody just drives by.
Yep.
Nobody's going to go into it.
And people are like, oh, well, it's advertising. Yeah. It's advertising. But the thing is most people want to do business with a real estate agent. They don't want to do business with a real estate company. Therefore, the brokerage that serves the real estate agent is going to be the brokerage of the future. Yep. Not the brokerage that is trying to be the brokerage that works with all of the clients.
Well, the thing is, I look at these big high vis that you're saying, it's advertising. Do you know how much advertising, how much door knocking and Facebook advertising $500,000 would buy? That they're building these $1 million buildings. That's right. How many flyers realtors could have to go door knocking with $1 million?
Yeah.
Jesus.
When you start rethinking your the way that people traditionally think about business, Romeo said local eXp campus is coming soon. I actually put that one up on the screen. I love the idea. I think that when you start having a collective mindset, when you start having the mentality of like people working together, all of a sudden you're going to start seeing people that want to go in on stuff like this together. And that is the future. That is like Uber, okay? Producer to consumer, okay? That makes sense. Yep. VRBO, product, the house, to the consumer. Both of those things are ran with a tech hub. VRBO is ran with the tech hub, as is Uber, ran with tech hubs. eXp, it's the same thing, but they took that KW profit share model and they applied revenue share to it, which is exponentially better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and it's, it is, and it allows for more money into the agent's pockets, as long as the company is producing and if the company's forward thinking, like I had said, that's the biggest thing, and you look at some of the agents that have decided to make the switch, not just from KW, from anybody, from HomeSmart, from 21, from all these other companies, people that were at flat fee companies paying $395, $495 a transaction, and they're going, wait a second, I'm not going to ever cap. These people, they're looking at it going, I'm never going to cap. Okay, cool, you're never going to cap, but can you set yourself up financially in other ways within your flat fee company?
Sure.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
It's that simple. They can't. And most people are not financially savvy enough that they're going to go, okay, well, I'm paying $500 a transaction. I'm also going to put 20% into this, IRA and this mutual fund, and I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing.
That's the difference between an entrepreneur and a real estate agent. You're welcome. That's the difference between an entrepreneur and a real estate agent. If you're a real estate agent, maybe you should just stay at your flat fee company. You don't. Most of you at flat fee companies that are sticking around there don't understand alternate forms of revenue anyway, which is what your broker understands, which is why they own an escrow company, which is why they own, all these different companies around a TC company, which is why they own all these different things around it. You have to have alternate forms of revenue coming in. That's what eXp provides you.
Thank you, David Golden.
That's what entrepreneurs understand. That it's not the person who makes $150,000 and worked for 80 hours a week that is intelligent, but it's a person who made $80,000 and worked for 4 hours a week by developing systems, seizing opportunities, and diversifying streams of income. So let's talk for a minute about revenue share. This is something that most people are not going to capitalize on. They're not going to, there's a negative connotation that comes with capitalizing. So people say, oh, it's like, listen,
greedy. You're greedy.
Relax, okay? This is about, like, nobody looked at KW like they were bad people for recruiting or attracting agents. I'm looking for people, and 95% agents that come to eXp, they just come to eXp to practice real estate because it's a great company to practice real estate at. But 5% bring on 10 or more. 5%. And this is a young company right now, but 5%.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because it's, everybody goes, oh, it's just recruiting. It's recruiting. It's recruiting. I guarantee you every single real estate agent that has a friend that is a realtor has tried to get their friend to come to their brokerage. You are all recruiters. You have tried to get your friends to come to your brokerage because you want to be around your friends.
It's just a matter of whether or not you're getting paid for it.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is you're the only person at 99% of brokerages that benefit by that is the brokerage, not you. And so your broker is benefiting off of your hard work, of you trying to get your friends to come over to your brokerage, because your brokerage is saying, bring your friends, bring your friends, bring your friends. Look at our environment. Look at our culture. Look at this. Look at that. But you are not benefiting by bringing your friends over, other than you get somebody to high five.
I love that brokers are looking at eXp and being all, ooh, they're a recruiting company. When I'm getting, I was getting freaking 15 to 20 calls every month from all these same brokers that were acting or that are looking down their noses at eXp.
Yep. And it's very ironic, and it kind of just comes down to, realtors as a whole are very snobby is the best word. We look down on car sales. We look down on this. We look down on that. And it's ironic, and it is. It's like, get your nose out of here.
There was this really funny conversation that I was reading online, and it was all these snobs that were talking trash about eXp, and they were putting everyone on blast, and they were doing all this different stuff. I'm like, oh, how easy for those of you that are already making all of this money to talk trash to other people when you are having people around you do your recruiting for you.
Yep.
And they're not getting paid. That's okay. That's okay. If you knew that you owned metal that was connected to the Titanic, would you worry about selling it, or would you just get off the freaking boat?
And it's just, everybody's a recruiter, everybody's a salesperson. And people just need to admit it. That's really what it comes down to.
I'm wondering how well this is coming across, because it looks like we're getting a little bit of lag on screen, but a lot of times that doesn't end up conveying. So tell people a little bit. Why don't you take the floor for a minute, brother? You know what you know about eXp. You know that I was slow to move. You know that there's a lot of other people that are watching from home right now that are now seeing you. They're seeing some other local agents in our area, like Tyson Robinson. Okay, so Golden says that we look perfect. There's nothing to worry about. Good. Thank you, Golden. Appreciate you. So people are fence sitting right now.
I was thinking about this ever since I asked you to come do this with you this morning. Is, a lot of agents are, and I think that a lot of eXp agents are doing a disservice to eXp in the way that they are wanting to recruit people. And it's not a matter, they come across as, I just want to recruit you so I can get paid.
Sure.
Not, I want to recruit you because I care about your success, and that's one of the biggest things is, your success is linked to my success. My success is linked to that person's and that person and that person's success. And it's not about not caring about that person or just wanting to make money. You know, I can fully say that, yeah, you know, I want you to make money because I will make money.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's
you
right.
know, but you know, too many eXp agents are too they sound like it's just about money. It's just about money. It's just about money, and not enough about. And that's one thing that I was noticing in our group the other day is everybody in our group was talking about dating. And they're talking about you and talking about how, you know, people can just tell them when it's coming from you, it's genuine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just about money. It's
That's
not
right.
just about, you know, this I need to make as much money as possible. It's
That's
about
right.
I truly care about people.
That's right.
And you know, that's why, you know, when it comes to the Boy Scouts, when it comes to the law enforcement side of the house, I care about people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the biggest things is, you know, I didn't really recruit people to KW.
Yeah.
I didn't try to recruit people to KW because, quite frankly, I was looking at it going, not enough people are producing for me to want to really push it. And so that's the biggest thing, you know, exactly. You know what Golden just said. And I look at this company and I look at, okay, I think that this is a place where I can see people being successful as long as enough people can come together and are willing to do it.
Yeah. And it's incentivized mentorship.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and, you know, it was one of those things that was really interesting because I'm throwing together these entrepreneur power panels where I'm having, you know, the number one agent in the world and, you know, all these people that speak about REO and wholesaling and all this different stuff. We're doing it in Temecula on November 19th. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But not all of them are even in my network. Not even all of them are in my organization. And I did something up north and I'm working with an agent up north. And people are worried. They say, oh, you're working with agents in other organizations. And I said, that's where we need to get at eXp. At KW, you don't have agents that aren't working with each other because they're with different organizations. No, I don't work with that organization, but I don't work with that. I just want eXp to succeed. I want everyone at eXp to succeed. And so I work with everybody in every different organization if they will work with me. That's why I developed the panels. I want people to talk about making money and help people understand how to make money. It's not about being a bad person. It's about caring about people. For the first time ever, though, it makes it a lot easier to monetize being a good person.
And that's where, you know, and I think that's one of the biggest things. And I've had this discussion with another very big agent. You know, that agent said, you know, well, if everybody stops selling houses, where's the revenue going to come from? And I think that's a misconception with eXp is don't stop selling houses.
Yeah.
You know, don't stop selling houses. Sell just as many houses as you always have. Do the same exact thing that you've always done, but just commit a little bit of time to bringing your friends over a little bit more than you usually do. And then you're still going to make the money that you've always made as long as you're willing to do it. But use the systems and the models within eXp to supplement your income and to make those extra revenue streams.
There's all these different books that are going around that's like the 7 different streams of income for the millionaire and 4 different, I'm trying to create 4 different revenue streams and all these different things. And that's what this next event is about creating different forms of revenue for you, different streams of income. This company is where a lot of entrepreneurs are coming because they see the opportunity in real estate. They practice real estate. They practice real estate a lot. But they also want to have the opportunity of working with their friends on a national level, having national reach, and having national ownership, which you're not going to get with any other company. I saw someone share their screenshot of their revenue or of their profit share check while they're one of the big shots at KW. And their profit share was $31,000 a year or $32,000 a year for 3 years. And then I saw somebody go, oh, $100,000. Wow, good job. And I'm like, over 3 years. I know people that are making that. But anyway, I can't say how quickly they're making that, but I'm like, and that's one of the people way up at the top with a national reach, national influence that people are putting his name down on things that he'll never, ever talk to them.
Yep.
But with eXp, you talk about it and all of a sudden you're a bad person. But I didn't see a single person post their revenue share check from eXp, although I know several people that have a much larger revenue share check just pending for next month.
Yep. You know, and it really does come down to an overhead thing, you know, and I've heard a couple of people go, well, you know, the agents are just going to end up having to pay for offices. So what? It's $400 a month and it's a tax write-off. Stop complaining.
Yeah.
It's a tax write-off. You're going to need it. Trust me. When you get over that threshold, when they start wanting to take a lot of your money in taxes, you're going to need the write-offs anyway.
Stop planning on failure. And I think that's what so many people do is they plan on failure. They say, well, I don't want to do this because then I'm going to have to do that. And so somebody said, and I read this great book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he said his friend decided not to buy this house because he didn't want to fix toilets. That's why you get a property manager. Losers make excuses. Winners analyze. Winners analyze. Losers make excuses.
It's in a rap song.
Is it?
Yeah, losers make excuses, winners make it happen.
Woo! Of course it is. I'm always quoting rap songs even when I don't even know. So stop planning on failure. This is one of the things that I want to talk. So a lot of people say, Serpa's been recruiting. Serpa's been trying to, but we don't recruit. We attract agents. That's the buzzword. But the thing is I've started contacting agents that I work with on the homes team. I've started sending out some letters of interest and letting people know that, hey, I would like to work with you again, but I'll never run a team ever again. I would like to work with you in a completely different way. I don't want you to come work for me. I want to help you work in your organization. I want you to be an owner. I want you to have the experience and the same opportunities that I have. There was somebody that asked in our chat group, he said, do you ever offer to pay for somebody's this or that in order to get them to come over? Which is an honest question. When people start seeing the benefit of how much money they can make, they start thinking like that. But the thing is I always tell people, I offer people the same opportunity that I have been given. I have never enjoyed working at a brokerage where I'm getting a different deal than everyone else. I want to have the same deal that everyone else is getting. And with eXp, it's everyone. So when I reach out to people on the homes team, for the Serpa team, and I say, hey, I would love to work with you again, but I would like for you to take ownership in your business versus me taking ownership in your business. I would like to mentor you and expose you to my network and my group of mentors because it's my national network and you helped me build it over the course of the last 3 or 4 years. And now I want to see you build out your national network. It's life-changing. And I'm really, really, really happy to have you back here in this capacity, but not as a member of the homes team, right? Mm-hmm. I'm really happy to say Zach is an owner. I say, hey, come over here, man. Why don't you sell some houses for me? You know what I mean? That would have been degrading. You're a leader in your own right. You were a leader before you were on my team. I hire leaders because I don't like to be in the trenches with everybody begging them to work when I like to be in the trenches just working on my own ground. Mm-hmm. Life is different when you are an owner. Nobody washes a rental car. So what's next for you?
Sell some houses, talk to some people about opportunity. The biggest thing for me is this frees me up a little bit to focus on stuff that I want to, I can not be so focused on, okay, I need to make commissions, I need to get stuff in escrow, I need to do this. I can still sell houses, but opposed to trying to sell 15 to 20 houses a year, mm-hmm. Maybe I only sell 10. Yeah. Maybe I only sell 8. Okay, I can do 8 houses through referrals. I can hand out Starbucks gift cards and sell 8 houses.
That's right.
8 houses is easy. But now I can look at, okay, maybe I want to start a clothing company. Maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to do something other than, and this frees up that time to do something that I want to do.
Entrepreneurs love eXp. Entrepreneurs love eXp. They just do. Because it frees you up to start thinking more like an entrepreneur and creating alternate forms of revenue while still doing what you were good at. The thing is I no longer have to spend $28,000 a month. I will never have another month where I have to spend $18,000, $20,000 because I'm not taking care of a whole bunch of people. My overhead is very low, but my opportunity has multiplied.
Yep. I get people all the time that are asking me, well, how you've closed a few houses this year. How many leads are you buying? What are you doing this? How are you doing that? And I go, I haven't bought any leads. I don't buy anything. I don't buy leads. I don't do this. I don't do that. I just go talk to people.
Not buying. So you're not buying leads.
No.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Why are you not buying leads?
Because you don't need to. You don't need to. You know, from first click to close on average right now on a lead, on an internet lead is 22 months for a millennial. The thing is 22 months, that's almost 2 years for people that can't math. Okay, so that's 2 years. Ask yourself, as a realtor, go back through your follow-up system and find a single lead that you have followed up with for 2 years consistently. There's 5, maybe 5 in your follow-up system, but they're at the bottom somewhere. And that's the biggest
And
thing.
as a team lead, the number one complaint that you get is the leads are garbage.
Yeah, the leads are garbage. And it's, you know, when you look at these, you know, 48% of salespeople never follow up with a lead after initial contact.
Yeah.
That includes open house leads. That includes everything. You get these leads and they never get followed up with. You know, and what I'm thinking right now is I have 5 or 6 people that came into my open house this weekend that I need to follow up with today.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I look like a jerk and I look bad. And, you know, that's one of the biggest things is you don't need to buy leads. What you need to do is harvest a relation. All the top teams in the nation, they own a farm. It's that simple. When we went to Keller Williams, the family reunion, you know, I saw people who they owned entire communities of 14, 15,000 people, and they're selling 400, 500 houses a year.
Because they overly saturated one market.
One market. You know, and I was having a discussion with another realtor the other day and just saying, why are you wasting so much time every single day? You're wasting 3 hours a day following up with internet leads. Why don't you just go door knock your neighborhood? Sure. Why don't you hold an open house twice a week in your neighborhood? And then every time people are leaving, they're seeing you, they're seeing you, they're seeing you. And the next thing you know, that neighborhood, out of the 50 houses a year that are listed, you're getting 20 of them.
One of my favorite agents locally is an agent that is with Tarbell, Jill Madlin. Jill was a well-known name before I got into real estate. She's a well-known name the entire time. Her business never suffered. When I showed up, she never got rousted out. And she sold more houses than I did last year. Jill is consistent, and she's known in her neighborhood. We have to stop thinking about real estate like, oh, it's about how many leads you buy. It's not that way anymore. There were 7 leads generated last year for every closed transaction in America. 7 leads, which means we don't have a lead generation problem. We have a lead follow-up problem. And the second that we realize that, we'll be less apt to pay a team leader 60% of our commission for leads when we can generate online leads for very cheap or free with KV Core. Once you own the platform, which is very cheap, it's like under $100 for all of the tech stuff included, like 35. I'm not good with crap like that. I don't think about, so I'm just like, just charge me and let's keep going. But once you have it, you just farm out for your own leads. So if you want those leads, get them for free. Don't pay 60% of your commission for them.
Well, that's one of the things that comes back to the team conversation is if your team lead is just giving you leads and they think that that's justification for you giving them 40 to 60% of your commission, then they're wrong, plain and simple. And if they are not using these systems that have been developed, that are out there, that are automating follow-up with these internet leads, the team lead, quite frankly, they're not capitalizing on what they're doing. They are wasting money by not doing this. You know, there's automated follow-up systems. There are companies that will do all of this follow-up for you, that will up your lead conversion rate. But most team leads don't want to spend the money on it because they're trusting that their salespeople are going to be the exception, that their entire team is going to be the exception to follow up and actually do their job. And they're not, plain and simple. You know, if you are generating, 152, 300, 400 leads a month, 5 of them are getting followed up with correctly.
Sure.
You know, and it's, and if you're on a team and they're just saying, well, we're just going to give you leads. I'm going to pay for your leads and your business cards. Get off the team.
I look at it like there's really two reasons to be on a team: leads and mentorship. Well, if you could convert leads and generate leads on your own, and if you could find mentorship through eXp, through an upline, all of a sudden you upped your commission from 40% on a team to 80%. That's before the cap. And you sell 5, 6 homes, and next thing you know, you're keeping 100% of your money, minus it makes so much more sense. So I think that the team, there's all these people. You don't get to go back and be the person that made teams cool. You don't get to go back in future and retroactively be the person that is establishing their name, and you don't get to go back and have my first year in real estate, because it's not your first year in real estate. It's not that year. It is a different time. And what I see people so often, they meet with me and they say, oh man, I just want to have what you had. I just want to have what you were doing. And they're living in the past.
Yeah.
You are either riding the wave or you are being destroyed by the wave. But you can't go back and get on it. You can't go back in time with something that you missed and get on it. So start thinking with your brain like an intellectual. Start recognizing opportunities, and then work with your heart a little bit harder when you see them. It's almost hard not to get a little bit frustrated at times.
Well, the biggest thing is it's scary for these people to think about being out on their own, to be on their team. And that's where mentorship comes in. And that's where truly becoming a student comes in. And not just reading something online and going, okay, well, I need to call 2 hours a day. I was calling 4 to 5 hours a day. Every day last year. I was in the office at 8 a.m. I was the only one there. Me and Christian Stone usually are the only people there. And look at Christian now, 8 to 1 every single day on the phones. And I look at how much time, quite frankly, I wasted because there were so many systems that I should have implemented, that I should have known about, that I should have done, that would have made my life so much simpler.
Like what?
You know what I mean? You look at some of these companies, and I don't want to mention any of them by name, but had I looked at just something simple as a dialer, right now I can call 500 people in 3 hours. 500 people in 3 hours. I can call, I can circle prospect an entire neighborhood in just a few hours.
Yep.
And it's so simple and quick. When I look at the online systems, we had agents where we'd say, hey, you need to make 20 phone calls a day.
Yeah.
Follow up with 20 leads a day, 20 phone calls a day, and they say, I don't have time.
Yeah.
You don't have time to make 20 phone calls?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that you scrolled Facebook for at least 2.5 hours today.
That would be really interesting. Look back in your last week and figure out how many hours you spent on Facebook, and then talk to Zach about how you don't have time to dial.
Or I dare you uninstall Facebook from your phone.
This is one of those things where, for me, dialing is anxiety inducing. For me to read people's body language and all this, it's very hard for me to do it. But you know what? I dialed all my open house leads. I still figured it out, and I still made my $120-something thousand in my first year because I was willing to work for it, and I was willing to have people tell me no, and I had a reason. So let's talk for a minute. The market's shifting. The world is shifting, right? Tech is shifting. Everything is shifting.
The market, the market shifting thing is very interesting to me because our house is sitting a little bit longer. Yes. Have interest rates gone up? Yes. Do I think there's any kind of a recession or crash coming? No. The economy is stronger than it really has ever been. And I think that a lot of this fear and a lot of this is caused by real estate agents. By posting on their Facebook, I'm sorry, if you're Facebook friends with your buyers, you probably shouldn't be posting that the market is shifting. Because it's fear-inducing. It's all fear-based.
Yeah. So the thing is for me, what I see in a shift is I see an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So I see that the market has slowed down about 10 to 20%. Yeah. The days on market are a little bit higher in most markets, unless you talk to Dave Clark. Right. But that's across the board. Where there is more opportunity is all the areas around real estate or in real estate in the way that you were doing it. You have to look for the deals now.
Yeah.
You have to look a little bit more. You know what I mean? But the people who make money make money.
Yeah.
And whether you're if you're wholesaling, you could figure out how to make money in any market. If you're an investor, you can figure out how to make money in any market. If you're a property manager, you're setting yourself up for success in any market. And so let's talk for a minute about November 19th in Temecula. Okay, so November 19th in Temecula, and then we're probably gonna wrap it. We're gonna do something that we would like to invite everybody out to. November 19th in Temecula, November 14th in Downey, and then December 3rd in Folsom. We want to teach people how to be entrepreneurs.
Serpa, is this just gonna be a big eXp recruiting event?
Part of it's gonna be an eXp recruiting event. Part of it is, but you know what? You don't get anything in this life for free. You get nothing in this life for free. I'm going to expose you to 90% of these people are with eXp. The other 10% are not. But these are the entrepreneurs. These are the most influential people in my life 100% of the people are with eXp for Temecula, by the way. And what I want to do is I want people to stop being afraid and start getting engaged with their business. And I'm going to tell you right now who's going to be there. Romeo is going to talk about wholesaling. Okay, we're going to talk about investing with Darren Campbell, who's the #1 agent in the world, who sold $4 billion in real estate. Bob Hellman and Jesse Zagorski are going to talk about REO. I am going to force you to listen to something about eXp, the wealth attraction game. Grace is going to talk about short sales. We're going to talk about all these different things so that you know how to make money and be set up for success no matter what the market is doing, so that you can stop living in fear and learn how to capitalize on your life, in your time, in your energy. So November 19th in Temecula, we'll post a link below. November 14th in Downey, we'll post a link below. And then up in our hometown, up in NorCal on December 3rd, we're working with David Wigg. We're working with Amanda Todd, who is not with eXp. You can leave her alone. We're working with we're working with Marguerite. We're working with Aaron Rawls, who is a political candidate up there. He's also a mega team lead. Justin Padilla, Rick Jiha, and Darren Campbell is coming up. It's going to be absolutely flipping incredible. And you could take away a win, or you could be so afraid about learning about eXp that you avoid going altogether.
Well, you know, and the biggest thing is you get agents all the time that want to learn how to do short sales. They want to learn how to wholesale. They want to learn how to flip. They want to learn how to do this stuff. And they come and listen. Come and listen to people that have done it, people that have been extraordinarily successful at it, you know, and just come with an open mind. You know, you can read articles all day long about how to do it, how to do it, how to do it. These are people that can tell you face to face what you need to do, what you need to do to get started, how they got started, and what they did to be successful.
November 19th in Temecula, November 14th in Downey, and December 3rd in NorCal. We hope to see you there. How to make money in any market. Brother, welcome to eXp.
Thanks, buddy.
Glad you're here. Still held an open house over the weekend.
Yes, I did.
I held an open house the weekend before that. It's not just for a bunch of grease balls.
I didn't order new open house signs again.
New open house signs. My friends and mentors are making over $100,000 a month, not $100,000 in 3 years. That's the difference between profit share versus revenue share. Mic drop. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Happy Monday. Get after it. Get paid. Enjoy your life.